and welcome back to the channel. Today I have sort of a different style of video for you. I actually had a different video planned for this week that involves some sewing and things like that. But a couple of days ago, I was scrolling through social media when I came across a headline that I just could not resist commenting on. And that is Harry Styles in a dress on the cover of Vogue. I thought you guys might be interested in hearing my take on all of this, especially because I've seen actually quite a few of you in the comments suggesting Harry Styles for a fashion breakdown video. Now, just before we get into talking about the Vogue spread, I wanted to do a little bit of background info on Harry Styles, just in case you're like me and you didn't really know all that much about him. He is an English singer, songwriter, and actor. He began his music career on the British singing competition show, The X Factor, where he was actually put with the other 4 members that would eventually become One Direction. Now, that was pretty much all that I knew about him before doing any of this research, and it turns out I didn't even know they went on a permanent hiatus in 2015. So in 2016, Harry Styles launched his own solo music career, and I found a quote online actually that I think perfectly describes the style of music, so I'm gonna read it to you. The musical style on his debut solo album was described as a mishmash of Los Angeles-style classic rock and ballads by NME, invoking an intimately emotional 70s soft rock vibe by Rolling Stone, and synthesizing influences from the last half-century of rock by Time magazine. His debut album was influenced by the music he grew up listening to, such as Pink Floyd, the Rolling Stones, the Beatles, and Fleetwood Mac. On his first headlining concert tour, he actually included a cover of Fleetwood Mac's The Chain in his setlist. So that was all really cool. I didn't know any of that was sort of like his musical background. And it's really interesting because that's a lot of the stuff that I kind of grew up listening to as well. As well, he made his debut as an actor in 2017 in Christopher Nolan's film Dunkirk, where he played a British soldier. Now, as far as his fashion history, I'm not gonna do as much of a deep dive as I normally would in my fashion breakdown videos, of course, where I break everything down year by year, but I'll give you a brief little overview of where his personal style has been since 2013. From 2013 to 2015, his fashion was good, but it wasn't exceptionally notable. He wore a lot of skinny jeans, suede boots, some cool interesting jackets, button-down shirts, some sort of fun prints, and then also some cool suits. In 2016 and 2017, things started to get a little bit more interesting, and we start seeing a lot of 70s fashion inspiration come through here. He's wearing a lot of flared pants, some really bold prints, big shoulders, and a very memorable outfit of his from this period is his cotton candy pink suit. Now, in 2018 and 2019, we start to see a little bit more androgyny in his style coming through. To host the 2019 Met Gala, he wore this absolutely amazing Gucci ensemble that had incredibly high-waisted pants that literally came all the way up to the bottom of his pecs, and then that was paired with a sheer blouse that was probably chiffon or silk chiffon, and it had ruffle lace detailing around the wrist and the neck. Throughout 2019, he starts to wear a lot of these really bold pants where they have a high waist, pleats, and just are super wide leg. You can actually see a pair of them on his album cover for Fine Line, where he's wearing a white pair with a pink dress shirt and pink suspenders. That is a super fun, interesting outfit, and the way that he's posed in it on that album cover is really cool. Also in 2019, he wore a Comme des Garçons dress and a shoot for The Guardian. Now, moving into this year, 2020, it has been a great year of fashion for Harry Styles. One really interesting outfit that I wanted to talk about was this full lace Gucci jumpsuit that he was spotted wearing on stage. It's cream colored, it has lace head to toe, one big long piece, and then some matching lace gloves. Finally, just as a little side note, he also dressed up as a ballerina for SNL, which I think is really fun and goofy and cute. Now, I know that was a very quick, speedy little synopsis through the past few years of Harry Styles' fashion, but I think it's necessary to understand the context and a little bit of history of who this guy is before we take a look at this Vogue spread. My takeaway from all of this is that he's definitely not new to this sort of experimental, bold, androgynous style of dress. And so him being on the cover of Vogue in a dress, to me already after looking at all of this past history, isn't all that surprising. To take a really close-up look and really deconstruct some of the outfits that he's wearing in this Vogue spread, I'm actually gonna invite on a guest, and that is my boyfriend, Wyatt Stav. If you don't already know, we have a main channel where we oftentimes do music video reactions to punk, metal, rock, all that kind of good stuff, and he is a drummer, content creator, and educator. If you would like to check out any of that stuff, I'll leave all the links in the description below. Okay, Wyatt, welcome to the channel.
Hey, what's up, what's up?
I'm so excited to have you upstairs in the loft.
I know, I rarely come up here.
Yeah, you rarely venture up here.
Directly below me is my drum set, that's where I like to stay.
It's where the commotion happens. I filled in the audience about a little bit of backstory on Harry Styles. You won't really get that, but basically he was in One Direction, now he has a solo career, he also did some acting, he was in a Christopher Nolan movie.
I knew all of it except for Christopher Nolan.
There you go, he was in this film Dunkirk that came out, he played a soldier.
Oh, I'm a huge Christopher Nolan fan, that's the one movie. When you said that, I was like, no way he was in a Christopher Nolan film, because I would have known, but that's the one movie I have yet to watch by Christopher.
That's the wrap on Harry Styles. We did a little bit of fashion background history, you don't really need to know that. And now we're gonna look at the Vogue spread. So you know what the situation is with the Vogue spread. He was on the cover, wearing a dress and a blazer.
Yeah, I haven't seen any of it. You showed me downstairs earlier,
okay.
You showed me the blazer.
No, I showed you, that's a different blazer. So the way that it works in these Vogue spreads usually is that like whoever the story's on, the main person, they'll actually wear many outfits. Maybe they'll like be like at the front or the center. I forget where they put them in real life magazines, but there'll be like a whole bunch of different pages where it's like a full size image of him. And then maybe they'll have little blurbs, or like you'll flip the page and there'll be all the text, and then the next page is the full size image. So there's a lot of images involved in all different outfits. So he actually is wearing pants in several of the outfits, but there's probably like 6 or 7 total. We're gonna talk about 3 specifically that I have chosen that I really wanted to talk about.
Sweet, let's do it.
The first one, of course, is the cover photo. That's the cover photo there.
That's it?
Yep, that's the one. So, okay, usually what I do, you're like, what do I say? I'll give it a little.
Nothing here.
I'll give it a
This doesn't
little.
honestly look like much.
No, it doesn't look that crazy. It's definitely not deserving of outrage from some people.
Oh, is there outrage around this?
There's a little bit, yeah. Like Ben Shapiro, Candace Owens, they've been kind of like, not outraged, but like sort of condemning this a little bit.
Why?
For being not masculine.
I thought he was in a dress though.
He is. It's a dress. So.
Oh.
That's the full body image of the dress right there.
Oh, but that's the cover there?
The cover's the close-up.
Oh, how can you have outrage to do with that? You can't see anything.
You can't even quite tell that it's a dress. It could just be a long shirt.
If I was walking through supermarket checkout and this was beside me and I looked down and I saw Harry Styles, I wouldn't assume that's a dress.
I wouldn't even know that that's Harry Styles.
I would assume honestly that he just has like a tall tee on.
Like you see a little bit of lace, but you have to stop and look at it to realize that that's lace around his waist.
It's a really nice dress.
Yeah, so it's a Gucci dress. It has lace overlay over the whole entire thing.
Okay.
You have the black accent lace around the waist, along the top of the bodice, and then along the bottom of every single ruffle, because as you can see, the skirt is made up of a bunch of tiers of ruffles, all kind of swooshed and pinned up to one side there.
Yeah.
And then the bodice has this sort of detailing on it that you call smocking. You take elastic, you stretch the elastic out, sew it down, and then it relaxes and it bunches up the fabric when it relaxes back in on itself. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So it's a bunch of horizontal lines of smocking along the bodice, I think. I can't always tell just by looking at images, but I think that's what's going on there. And then of course he has on this super nice blazer over top. So that's the outfit. It's like playing with traditionally masculine and traditionally feminine, because you have like a full out gown with a regular nice blazer. It's tight at the top, so like that's a really well fitting blazer. It's tight around the arms and the shoulders. It's got like a nice close fitting armhole, and then the top of the gown is also tight, and then it flows out, it like cascades down into this beautiful full skirt at the bottom.
The other day you and I were hanging out, we went to Michael's. Michael's is a Canadian craft store. I wanted to learn how to paint and I asked you to show me. So we went to Michael's, and inside of this arts and crafts store, we were walking up and down the aisles, and something I turned to you and I said was, wow, I really feel like you must feel, maybe not anymore because we've been together for 4 years, but maybe in the beginning I felt like you must felt back then when spending time with me inside of Guitar Center, along the Quaid, on Sweetwater, right?
Definitely.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So right away, like, I want to talk about the controversy side of this story that you're covering.
Yeah.
Right away, I don't think anybody who's not an artist has any business speaking about what this is.
I think mostly like everything was fine when it first came out, no one cared, but then it was the people who were speaking out against it that caused the other people to be like, no, you're wrong, and then there became like divergent sort of ways of looking at it, I guess.
Coming from our world, coming from the fringe, I've been shopping on the girls' side of every store since I was very young.
Yeah.
Like I remember when I was in grade 6, I started wearing girls' jeans when nobody thought skinny jeans was cool. Now all guys can buy skinny jeans.
Yeah.
You know? And like even to this day, my favorite camouflage sweater is a woman's plus size sweater.
Yeah.
It seems so silly.
It
is. In our world, it doesn't exist.
Yes.
If you go to Oliver Sykes' Instagram page, he posted a picture in a dress a couple days ago, and I thought he looked exquisite.
I actually have a whole list of alternative musicians who have worn dresses that I
Exactly
in advance of this video. It includes Tyler Carter, Youngblood, Oliver Sykes, Marilyn Manson, who's been doing it for decades.
A bunch of beautiful men.
Yes, exactly.
Who are comfortable enough with their sexuality to wear whatever the hell they want.
Exactly.
Like me in this pink sweater at the moment.
Yes, exactly.
I wore the pink sweater on purpose.
I know you did. I'm glad that you did too.
I wanted you to do my nails, but
I know.
we ran out of time.
Ran out of time. Anyways, do you want to look at a couple more outfits from the spread?
Sure, let's do it.
So my favorite one.
That one.
This will be
That's
your
my
favorite too. Okay, so this one I absolutely love. So this is by Comme des Garçons, which is a Japanese designer brand that I've actually always really been a big fan of. Love this outfit. It's once again a blazer, this time with a kilt, and then he's wearing it with dress shoes and crew socks. And so I really like that this is like the most modern spin on like a traditional look. And I love kilts. Honestly, I think that if you're a man and you're interested in potentially trying out wearing a skirt, wear a kilt. Like a black kilt like this, you could even wear pants under and it would look really awesome. Or you could get like a half kilt where it just sort of goes from one, like maybe center front to center back, like just on one side, and it's just sort of almost like a flap of fabric. That could also look really cool.
Is this a monthly?
Yep.
Oh,
so this is the December cover story.
Okay.
And actually, Harry Styles, I don't know if I said this already, he's the first solo male cover person on Vogue. It's always a woman or woman and man.
Really?
Yeah, first solo male.
Why is that? That doesn't seem fair.
Well, I don't know. It's just like, I don't know, fashion magazine targeted towards women, I guess.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, I guess so. You know, they cover beauty, makeup, all that kind of stuff, which is totally fine for men to like too. But I just think that traditionally their reader base has been females. So they put, you know, strong, awesome, popular at the time females on the cover. So the last outfit that I've chosen for us to take a little look at is the most sort of crazy one. It's like a feast for your eyes. There's so much happening. I want to read you the description from the Vogue article of this image because I feel as though it's like the perfect description for it, and then we can kind of like bounce off from there.
Okay.
There are references aplenty in this look by Harris Reed, which features a Victoriana crinoline, 1980s shoulders, and pants of zoot suit proportions.
All right, what are we looking at here?
So here's the outfit. That's the outfit I just described to you.
Oh, gotcha.
It's a lot happening, right?
Yeah.
It's like, sometimes, okay, I always talk about unexpected outfits or unexpected combinations, and I feel like this is like the epitome of an unexpected combination, where we have these crazy long, big, full trousers that are dragging on the floor, dragging on the carpet, dragging on the grass. We have the crinoline, like they said, sort of like Victorian style crinoline, which is
I know what that is because of your Maria Brink video.
Yes, I don't have to explain it again. That's perfect. Yeah, it holds the skirt up. Although the skirt that's over top of this doesn't cover the whole crinoline, it's purposefully smaller. So that's a whole bunch of white tulle that we have going on there. And then just a little tiny bit of pink satin over top.
I see.
And then of course we have on this jacket, this sort of almost like 70s style or 80s style kind of huge shoulder pads. Like those are like
Narcos.
Those bad boys are probably like 1 to 2 inches thick of foam. Like those are heavy shoulder pads.
Very good.
Yeah, so there's literally so much going on here, and like I just feel as though the contrast between that crinoline and how thick and black and bold it is against the sort of delicacy of this really soft, pure white tulle, and then underneath he's like sort of like looking almost like a stern businessman or something from like a prior decade. You know, there's just like, it's just so much happening, so much contrast, so much to look at, to take in.
Contrast is the word that comes to mind. I think the interesting part about this too is like, as beautiful as these pieces are, the photography work is outstanding as well. Like the composition of this shot is really well done. I wonder where this is. Do you know? Does it say?
It's in England. And he's, it's actually near where he lives, somewhere in, I think, the north of England.
Very good.
So it looks very English, doesn't it? Like these sort of fields.
Yeah, it looks European. It doesn't look like North America.
No, definitely not.
I can't really think of spots around here that look like that. This looks like, the field itself looks like something out of like Game of Thrones or...
yes, it does.
Or Lord of the Rings.
Lord of the Rings, yeah.
Like I could see like an epic battle happening on this field.
All right, so now that you've seen all of the images, what is your takeaway? Obviously, you already sort of said how you feel about guys in skirts and how, generally speaking, people shouldn't really care. But what do you think? Do you think the commotion was worth it?
No, of course not.
Do you think he looks good?
Good's just perspective based.
Yeah.
Personally, my personal
Yes.
perspective is, my favorite of them is this piece here.
Yes.
That's by far my favorite. I think the big reason why it is just because it's closer to something that, like, I listen to all forms of music, and there are a lot of artists that I listen to that a lot of guys on my channel probably would know of, but the general populace, especially if you're not coming here from knowing our background, probably would never hear and never listen to, and definitely probably couldn't understand if listened to.
Yes.
But the reason why those bands and those pieces of art are important is because the things that they invent and create trickle down eventually into modern music. And in fact, a lot of like the EDM projects and dubstep projects are elements that you find were created in like heavier genres like metal and things like that, and prog rock and things like that. The same thing can be said about fashion, of course. I mean, you know that. You've talked to me about that.
Yes.
With how high fashion trickles down in the same sort of way. And it happens in every area of art to a degree, right? But of all of the pieces in this collection that I'm seeing, that one there is the closest to something that I could definitely wear.
My final thoughts on this whole entire Harry Styles Vogue spread is that I hope it's sort of a signifier of some change in attitude that people can have towards fashion. And I think that it would be really great if people could not feel so constrained and so shackled by this whole idea of men's clothes and women's clothes. And if you're a man and you see something in the women's section, that you don't feel afraid to try it on, because honestly, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. You know, clothing is clothing, and whatever feels right is what you should wear. So I think that's really like the statement that Harry Styles is making in this spread. And I read a little bit of the interview with him as well, and and he shares a lot of those sentiments, you know, where he says it doesn't really matter to him what clothing he wears, who it's meant for, where it's meant to be worn, whatever. If you like it and it feels right, then you should do it. I think that's a great statement to make. Obviously, I'm a big fan. I think he is very fashionable. I see why many of you in the past have requested I do a full fashion breakdown on him.
You should. I was so impressed by these photos.
I know. I'm not entirely sure that I will, because the people that I tend to do fashion breakdowns on, I have already been a fan of. Versus Harry Styles, I don't really know anything about him, so I'm not sure how it'll go if I try to deep dive on him, but I could look into it in the future for sure. Now that I know, I've had this little taste test perhaps. Yeah, that's an old picture you're looking at right there, actually, from like 2013. Yeah.
I was gonna say.
Yeah, he used to wear a lot of skinny jeans and stuff, so.
Yeah.
Anyways, though, you guys, I really hope that you enjoyed this video. I know it's a little different from any of my usual formats. I saw this news story, like I said, come across my feed, and I had to say something about it because A, I got excited, and B, I thought, oh, well, that's silly if people actually care about this. And then I told Wyatt about it, and he felt inspired to come and share a little bit of his 2 cents as well. If you enjoyed, let me know.
My apologies.
If you enjoyed, let me know in the comments below, and I will see you all next time.